So something I feel like you don't see very often in the US, as we're walking up to St. Catherine's Oratory, which again is that old lighthouse built in the 1300s. You just walk through a field with cows roaming around. And this is the public footpath, so you can walk right up to them. You kind of got to watch where you're stepping, and that's how you get to the lighthouse. All right, well, welcome back to the Love and a Suitcase YouTube channel here. We are driving back from the Isle of Wight, which was our kind of extended trip this weekend. We decided to make it an overnight instead of a day trip from London, leaving Saturday morning bright and early. Picked up Stephen, who's in the back seat, joining us for this video, and headed to Lymington, where we caught the ferry over to Yarmouth.
In the cute seaside town of Yarmouth. We just got off the White Link ferry from Lymington, and we just arrived in this really sweet little town. We're on the pier right now, and then we're going to go look for some fish and chips in town, hopefully some gluten-free fish and chips. So stay tuned. In my research yesterday, I was researching places to eat on the Isle of Wight that fit two criteria. One, they were dog friendly, and two, that they had gluten-free options. So when we found out that the Blue Crab in Yarmouth, which is where the ferry arrived, has gluten-free fish and chips, I was pretty excited. Having lived here for 7 months, I still have not had any fish and chips because it's quite hard to find gluten-free ones. So I'm pretty excited to try these, and just stay tuned. We'll see how they are.
So after we left Yarmouth, we drove northeast to Cowes. Cowes is a nice little oceanside town, which I guess is known for its boating scene. There are lots of yachts there. And the weekend we were there, it happened to be a big yacht race. So lots of people in town for this big yacht race, which oddly enough was canceled the day we were there because it was too windy. But it was still really cool to walk around and see the boats.
Yeah, you don't think of sailboat races being canceled because of too much wind, but that gives you an idea of how windy it was this weekend.
It was quite windy.
Yeah, and that's Cowes, C-O-W-E-S, but it is pronounced cows. We double checked.
We did check. We thought that it might be, some more fancy pronunciation, but no,
it's cows.
Just cows. Yeah.
Cows.
So, yeah, after Cowes, we decided that we would go and check out this abbey that was kind of on our way to this near kind of our hotel. It was Quarr Abbey, and it was this really neat mix of a medieval abbey site. So it used to be this kind of abbey, I guess, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and that has now kind of been it was tear down during the Reformation, but they've now rebuilt this abbey to be a pretty spectacular site, and the monks still kind of create they have these amazing gardens, these orchards, and even like a tea shop that you can go. So that was really neat. We walked around, we kind of poked our head in the actual abbey, and again, it was very dog friendly. So Spark was able to explore the grounds, and
she obviously didn't go in the church, but everything else was dog friendly.
Yes.
So after the Abbey, we headed to our hotel, which was actually a guest lodge. We were informed, not a hotel, but this was a very small little accommodation called The White, located in Sandown. Is that right?
Yep.
In Sandown, which is another really cute town in the Isle of Wight. So our hotel, as we mentioned in a different video, we booked the night before we arrived. So not necessarily what you should do, but it all worked out. Stephen had a single room, David and I had a double room. Both were tiny but very functional and had everything you needed. They each had their own bathroom with a shower. Everything was pristine, so no complaints about the hotel at all. Parking was definitely something that you should consider because in our case, the parking lot was completely full. We had the last spot, so just think ahead on those kind of things if you're headed to the Isle of Wight. But we had a great experience with our hotel. It had a little bar, had a little live music, and a delicious breakfast the next morning, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, the hotel was super nice. I think one of the nice pieces too is that it was within walking distance to the pier within the bay. So we actually kind of walked around there for a little while afterwards, which was really nice.
Yeah, in our room, David and I's room actually opened out onto a nice grassy area. It had a door. Exterior door, so that was great since we had Spark with us, and the hotel actually doesn't charge for pets, so
yeah, that was huge.
That was a nice
Super
bonus
nice.
as well. We paid for her in a lot of other accommodations, so that was a nice surprise for the price that we paid.
All right, so we are here on day 2 of our overnight trip to the Isle of Wight. We've got a great day planned today. We are heading first to the Donkey Sanctuary, which Megan's pretty excited about, and then we are off to St. Catherine's Lighthouse, which is on the southern point of the Isle of Wight, before kind of driving along the coast all the way over to the Needles, which kind of are these white cliff needle things that stick out from the westernmost part of the island. So should be a good day, and we're going to take you along for the ride.
Welcome to the Isle of Wight Donkey Sanctuary. Let me give you a visitor leaflet. Heard all that I've had to say. 94 abandoned and rescued donkeys here. You're welcome to go and see them all. There they all are. Dogs welcome everywhere. Go donkey spotting.
We're still here at the Donkey Sanctuary, and it's pretty neat that you can get this close to the donkeys. As you can see, they're just running around right behind us, and you can pet the donkeys. They have kind of different pens based on the type of care that each donkey needs, so you can really tell that they are well taken care of. It is really fun. It's just a donation to get into a good cause. You can tell that the money goes towards keeping the donkeys safe. And it's amazing, some of them are living 30, 40 years old here in the Donkey Sanctuary. So definitely worth a visit. It's an easy drive, and we've really been enjoying it.
So after the donkey extravaganza, we went to a pair of lighthouses. First, we hit up St. Catherine's Lighthouse, which is a functional lighthouse right on the coast, which was super, super pretty. Got a cool drone flight in there, so we'll probably see some neat footage from that. And then after that, we drove about 5 minutes down the road to St. Catherine's Oratory, which is a similar concept. We think it may be like an old lighthouse or some kind of like old lookout, several hundred years old, which is really cool. So you park in a little car park next to the highway, what are they called here?
Yeah.
Highway.
Motorway.
That checks out.
Next to the motorway. And then you hike through a field that has a bunch of cows in it.
You're literally right next to the cows.
Right next
It's
to
a
the
public footpath.
Yeah.
Public footpath through the
Totally
cows.
kosher.
Get to the top, and there's this cool little lighthouse type structure in it. Cool photos. You can go inside of it. You can kind of climb up the inside.
Don't climb up the
I
inside.
heard
Probably get
I heard
stuck.
from a friend
Yeah.
that it's much easier to climb up than down, so take that for what it's worth.
He's the friend. He got
Yeah.
stuck.
Some people got stuck. Yeah, we saw somebody got stuck up there.
That would have been really embarrassing.
Some people said not to climb the lighthouse. Some people got stuck. Yeah, so good times for having.
Yeah. Too bad that it is so gloomy out right now, because this view would be absolutely stunning if it were just a little bit clearer. It's probably a little hard to tell, but this just looks out over the coastline here of the Isle of Wight. We are about ready to do a little bit of a hike up to an old lighthouse that was built in the 1300s next to a 4,000-year-old burial mound. So it's a little bit of a hike. We're hoping the rain doesn't come back here, but again, just an amazing view out here to the left. All right, so we are on our way now to the Needles from the lighthouses that we stopped at, both which were pretty cool, and we decided to stop here in Freshwater. They have a beautiful little beach, got a drone flight in, which you'll see in the video, and now we're going to swing by the Sainsbury's local here in Freshwater, grab some sandwiches before heading back to the Pinnacle, or the Needles. I keep thinking of the Pinnacles. And then we have a ferry to catch, so it's going to be a bit of a compressed timeline here, but we'll see how it goes.
Last thing we saw on the island was the Needles, which are a series of rocks that stick out from a point on the southwest side of the island. Supposedly some of the most photographed rocks in the world, according to the people at the Needles. So, but it was cool. So you park there, and then it's about a 15-20 minute walk to get to. There's the old battery and then the new battery above it. So they're both like military fortress type things. So they had guns that they used to defend the Isle of Wight from invaders. So if you want, you can pay to go into the old battery, and there's, I'm sure, a really good view of the Needles from in there. We didn't go in there. We hiked up to the new battery, which is free to hike up to, and has a really cool view of the Needles as well, and super cool panoramic views of the whole ocean. You can see really far both sides of the island, so would highly recommend that. It also would have been really, really cool at sunset, because we were facing west. We weren't there for the sunset, but I can imagine how nice it must have looked.
On our way back to London right now. So all of that we packed into about 48 hours, a little bit less than, actually maybe closer to 36. So it is pretty accessible from London. It's incredibly dog friendly. Grab a zip.
Friendly too. The people are super nice.
They're very friendly. So definitely recommend it. We give Isle of Wight, 10 out of 10 for kind of a trip from London. Definitely recommend doing it. And yeah. That pretty much concludes the trip. So thanks for tuning in to this video. If you liked this video, let us know in the comments. Click subscribe. That really kind of helps us out. It's nice to know that somebody watches these. And we will see you next time.